All right, Coach, we're going to continue talking about posting up, but this time I want to talk about the post player and the different options that they have. So not so much about the fundamentals of posting and passing. That was in one of the other videos that we did. You can look up that posting up part 1. But we're going to look specifically at some options we can give our post players. Again, doesn't have to be a true big player. This can be a guard, this can be a wing. Anybody in that post area is really what I'm talking about, not a specific player. So here's the options that I want to talk about. First is, a lot of times coaches talk about posting up here on the second block. Great place to post if you're trying to score in the low post. But what happens if you don't have a player who's good at scoring in the low post, but they're down in that area? Well, let's use the mid post. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use this area right here. And I know you're thinking that's not really the post area. Exactly, that's what throws the defense off. So we get the players, we want them to post up in this area somewhere about 2 to 3 feet outside the lane line. So we're going to go 2 to 3 feet outside that lane line, right in the middle of the post area. What that allows us to do is if we can get the ball passed into that area, now we've got a lot of room to cut. So whether you're making a Laker cut, you're cutting on that sideline, you've got a lot of room to make passes off of this to your cutters. When this player is down on the block, it gets all jumbled up. So all of a sudden they're cutting through here and we don't have as much space, or they cut too close to this block because they want to score. There's no space there. The defender who's on the post player can easily go and guard that cutter as well, or can bump them off their route. Well, when we put them in this mid post area, makes it really hard. Now, one of the things that I like to do, especially if teams are playing a 2-3 zone, they've got their defenders set up here. We get that ball up top and we're gonna, again, use this area right there. They're gonna come out and they're gonna defend this right here. So 3's got the ball, put our post player in there. This player right here is gonna step up to guard that post. So if we can get it in there and we can get a cut right there, great. What's gonna happen is we get that ball back here. This player's gonna have to go. We get maybe a high post player, whoever's at our high post coming down the middle. We got an easy dump right there. It's gonna open some things up. If the middle player comes to guard the post, that opens up this middle really wide for drives or for interior passing with our high post player. So I love to do this against zone, but it works against man-to-man just as well. All right. Now the second thing we want to tell our post players is to screen. If you're not getting open, you're not getting the ball, the best thing you can do is screen. So we get the ball here, we've got our wing on this side, we've got our post player right here. Go set a back screen, get this player out of there, and now all of a sudden you can go back and you can post up or seal for just a second, and then you're cutting to the rim and we can get you there. If teams switch on this, you're gonna find some wide open layups. If they don't switch on it, what you're gonna find is a great opportunity for our player to gain an advantage and to go in there and post up. So a great way to get your post players open is to have them screen first. Now, one of the other ways we can do it is stay down low and we call the person to us. So instead of setting this wide back screen, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have our post players down here and we are going to call this player through. So I like to get a hand up and we're just telling them, come through, come through. This player is gonna go right here. We're gonna get a little flex cut. We won't talk about the flex cut too much right now, but we get a flex cut. As soon as we get a solid screen, what we're hoping is this player here is going to leave with them. We turn, we seal, get the ball right in there to our big because they've sealed when that team had to switch. Now it's gotta be a solid screen. If you let them through, not gonna work. If they don't switch, what you're gonna have is this X5 is not going to, if he doesn't leave, he's gonna stay behind our post player. And if he stays behind, we got a perfect opportunity to turn, seal, get our chest out there, our hands up in the air, and they know we're gonna be open, get the ball into the interior there. Now, the last thing I wanna talk to you about is having your post players' hands up. So far we've talked mainly about getting that ball into the post kind of in a traditional way where that post player is ready to score. What happens on the drive? So we'll put our post player here. All of a sudden one breaks his man down and we're going down the lane. This player wants to get underneath right here, hands in the air. Get him up ready for that pass so that we can throw that up over the top. If you're working with your guards, A lot of times they like to dump that pass off. Not a huge fan of it. It does work sometimes, not saying never do it. But what happens is you want to get it to the corner right here. If you'll get that pass to the corner, this player is the only one who can jump up. And when I say the corner, I'm talking about the bottom corner of the backboard. So that's where they're aiming at. Your post player knows where it's going. They can seal, they can get up where it's at, but they have to show their hands to let the guard know that they're ready. If they don't get the pass, this guy goes to the hoop, that's fine. We're in great rebounding position on the backside, so not a big deal. But showing your hands even on the drive is big. Don't allow your players to constantly drift this way. They drift out, you've just taken a post player, and instead of getting a shot that might be 2 to 3 feet, maybe even 7 feet away, now you're looking at 15 to 18 foot shots. I'd much rather get a close-up shot than I would have a mid-range shot. So, Coach, there's a little bit more about posting us and some things that you can do with your players. So whether you're seeing this on YouTube, on a social media channel, or over on my website at CoachMattDennis.com, I hope this helps you out with your team. Remember, any player can be a post player, not just the big kids. Your wings, your guards, your littlest kid. A lot of it depends on matchups more than it depends on how big your player is if they're a traditional post player. So, all right, Coach. Until next time, go get in the gym, get your team better.